I'm Adrian, this is Dustin. We would like to tell you about CubeCab. We take CubeSats to low Earth orbit one at a time. Currently, CubeSats are kind of second-class satellites. To get into orbit at all, you have to attach to a primary payload, we call that the truck model, or you have to go with a bunch of satellites, we call that the bus model. Either way can take years, you have to go where the rocket goes, there's a bunch of other problems. Even with that, about 100 CubeSats were launched last year, and the expectation is 300 to 400 in a couple years. So the CubeCab service, we launch one CubeSat at a time. Our design mission is a 1U or 3U to low Earth orbit, obviously to 500 kilometers polar, obviously different rockets for those two models. We air launch, you cannot get a ground pad cheap enough for our price, we go with standard market prices. We operate faster, we operate better, so we can get a lot more people who currently don't even think CubeSats are within their complexity budget to become customers. Since we are going to be doing 10 to hundreds, we can do a high flight rate, which has not been possible before. Previously, you're lucky if you could do 6 launches a year. We're tending to do 10s to hundreds. So it means you can do mass production, you can automate the process, we can partner with vendors, and generally our advantage is the combination of the market is here and we have access to all these technologies. Here's a little illustration of what air launch means. We do not launch from ground pads. And here is a brief overview of some of our core technologies. The key point is at the bottom. We do commercial off the shelf, not mil-spec. Now, all these technologies are things that our competitors could get access to. None of them have access to the specific combination. By the time they could get access to them, the markets are probably going to be moving on, thus our main advantage. And here's the competitive advantages. Currently, you could take sounding rockets or balloons up. You can get some of the advantages of orbit, but not really. You can go with a truck or bus model. They're slower. If any of the other guys backs out with a payload, then the entire flight's in jeopardy, so your payload might not be able to go up. And then there's us. Oh, and also we can do constellations of CubeSats, putting each CubeSat into its appropriate orbital slot one at a time. You cannot do that currently. So our financials. Standard model, we get the investment, we do our R&D, and then sales kick in. Investment plan, here's a brief overview of how much we need at what stage. Kickstarter towards the end, more to generate publicity than to actually raise funding, which gets into our marketing outreach. NASA CubeSat launch initiative, how big of a backlog do they have? We can just take it and service it. We can do direct outreach to universities and corporations. And then once we've got a few missions under our belt, civil and military space can start coming to us on a commercial off-the-shelf basis with about the same amount of paperwork it would take to fly an airline ticket on a government dime. So this is the team. This is just the team that's here today. We got a bigger team than just this, but we figured just list of people who are here today. Thank you. Any questions?
Hello. Thank you. Great presentation. How much will it cost to develop your launch vehicle?
Roughly $5 million plus another couple million runways for profitability, roughly.
Can you guys just say a few things about competitors? I know there's been a couple of companies that have attempted this air launch scheme in the past.
So there's competitors who do air launch. And then there are very few competitors who try to do individual CubeSat launches. So far, there hasn't really been a combination of them. The people who've been trying to do individual launches have mostly been ground launch, and they found the cost of a ground pad alone kicks their per flight price up.
And I've got one short one. So do you think this is a winner takes all, that if you find a solution that's effective and cost effective, that the other solutions will just go away? Or do you think the truck model will be attractive to some companies and yours will be attractive to others?
Oh, we certainly believe the truck model will continue to be attractive to some, especially if, say, you want to launch 10 CubeSats to the same orbit. Well, that's the bus model right there. We're not going to be a be-all, take-all, but we are going to grow the market a lot beyond what currently is considered to be the CubeSat market. Anything else?
One last question if we have time.
Give me one
So,
for Dustin.
can you talk about your customer base? You mentioned the numbers of CubeSats that are expected to be launched over the next few years. Do you envision your customers to be more universities or more commercial companies or government?
We suspect, especially at first, our customers will mainly be university and commercial. Again, government, we're expecting to come to us on a cost basis. We specifically are trying to avoid having to apply for any government grants. We are not a grant shop. We want to avoid the cost of doing that kind of application. So, which will reduce the number of government customers. On the other hand, eventually, once we are proven out, they can come to us. There's still won't probably be as many as university and commercial, though.